Was not nice. What am I talking about? Whatever, Sarah. Not a tutorial. It's not a tutorial.
Wow.
This is a review. Hi guys, I am back today with a product review for you. It's something I want to do more often on my channel because I feel like they're very valuable to people who are not sure kind of if it's worth investing in a certain item, especially high-end items. I have a lot of thoughts about like drugstore versus high-end and things like that, and what's really worth it and what isn't. So I want to help with that a little bit. And the product that I want to talk to you guys about today is the Hourglass Modernist Eyeshadow Palette. That's what it's called, right? Modernist, yes, that's exactly what it's called. And I'm actually wearing the shades on my eyes today. I almost said on my eyelashes. I'm wearing them on my eyelashes. And I paired it with this kind of like peachy pink, I don't know, it's not really peach. It's some kind of pink, I don't know, lip color. And I used Cranberry Lip Liner by MAC and also Fig by Bite Beauty. This is one of those double-ended lipsticks that they have in the Beauty to Go section, kind of in the front, the Impulse Buy section. It's double-ended and it's got Fig on one side and Date on the other, and Date is like a little bit more brown, but they're both kind of nudes. There are 5 different ones, I believe, at least 5 that I'm aware of, that are out right now. And this is the shade Exposure, and it's kind of more of the purpley palette. They were released early for like VIB Rouges at Sephora, and then also they are available online, but if you're looking to purchase them in the store, they're not going to be on the shelves yet. I actually did get mine in a store. They were not on the shelves yet, but let's just say it does not hurt to ask. So this is, like I said, the purple one. I chose purple, trust me, I sat there for like a good long time, and I went with purple because purple, at least in my opinion, looks good on every eye color, every skin tone, every hair color, every personality. Purple is just universally flattering on everybody. So I love it, and purple is one of my favorite colors anyway, so I do own a lot of purple eyeshadows. So especially considering that fact, this really needed to be awesome for me to just be like blown away by it. So Hourglass as a brand has a reputation for having high quality ingredients, high quality products. They tend to be on a little bit more of the ingredient conscious side, and generally Hourglass is a really high quality brand. They put out a lot of really great products. I love their foundations. They have one that's really good for oily skin. They have an extremely awesome primer for oily skin that just knocks out the shine like you wouldn't believe. Their lip products are really nice. They're very rich and creamy and smooth and pigmented and gorgeous. So one would think that probably these are going to be the most amazing eyeshadows you've ever used, especially because it is quite a price tag. I don't like to say bad things about products or brands, but you guys know that I am always honest with you, and if I wasn't, like, what am I doing on here? Right? I really wanted to love these. I just, you guys, they're just not that great. I notice a lot of kick up when you stick your brush in. I mean, it's worse than like Urban Decay, which is saying something. A lot of fallout too. I think in general what is the problem with these is that they're too dry. So like the matte shades and even the shimmer shades are a little bit better at holding together and showing up and being more blendable, but overall I just think they're too dry. You can tell that when I swatched them, it's not like some eyeshadows that are like almost creamy feeling, and they go on really smooth and they melt into your skin. That is the key for me. So these did not do that whatsoever. When I swatched them, they kind of just like glided down my skin and just fell along my skin like particles. I don't know how to explain it, but to me that's not the sign of an eyeshadow that I'm going to reach for all the time. Now, there is a market for these palettes, and that is going to be the people who are either very brand loyal. So I know a lot of people who are like, I buy only Dior all the time, all Dior, everything, this, and this, and you're really in love with a particular brand. So if you feel that way about Hourglass, maybe, you know, you might appreciate this. They're not terrible, but it's just not something that I'm going to reach for over and over again. And the other group of people that I think might really like this are people who just buy high-end no matter what, buy whatever is new no matter what, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just a little bit more practical, so I'm not exactly quite like that. You know, it could just be me and my high standards for eyeshadows. So for me, the way I kind of break it down and like determine the value in my mind is, think about, there's 5 eyeshadows in here. That averages out to about $10 an eyeshadow, a little bit more. And I look at these and I'm like, okay, first of all, there are 3 shades in here that I may not ever use again, just because they're really not that great. The matte kind of satin ones are just not that great at all. The shimmery ones are okay. This one here is actually a nice brow bone highlight. I like it. It's just not super, super bold and out there, and you know me. This is something very important. You have to think about the market as a whole. So if you think about the other shadows that are out there, MAC for example, that's $15 a shadow unless you get the pan, so that's like $11 I think. So that's comparable. So say you get the pans from MAC, that's comparable to the price of these. But MAC is so much better. I mean, you're just going to reach for it so much more often. They're more pigmented, they don't kick up, they don't fall out so badly, they blend a lot better. Or even Makeup Geek, way better price. Those are like $6 I think. So just to think about what you're getting for the price, to me just doesn't, I can't really convince myself that that makes a whole lot of sense. The packaging is awesome. I love the packaging. I really wanted to like this because it's so compact, and how awesome would it be if you could just go on vacation, throw this in your bag, and have this be the only eyeshadow you need. You could get like 4 different looks out of these colors if the pigmentation and the blending ability and everything else was there. I just think so much about like Marlena from Makeup Geek and other brands who spend so much time and energy really perfecting their eyeshadow formula, and it just feels like that did not quite go into these. I'm sorry, Hourglass, I'm sorry. They're just not, I mean, this is the reason, all the reasons that I listed that I really am not a huge fan of these are pretty much all the reasons I do not use drugstore eyeshadow. I'm trying to get better about that. I'm trying to find some that are really good, but currently and for the past few years I do not and have not used drugstore eyeshadow because it's too hit or miss and the quality is just not always there. So I just feel like if you're gonna spend the $50 or whatever it is, you could get, I mean, what, like 8 Makeup Geek eyeshadows for that. The other thing that really bothers me about this palette is that there is no transition shade in here at all, and there's no crease shade. For me, I'm not super over the moon about palettes in general. I really like to customize what shades I use, which is why I use a lot of like Z palette type things where I can just put my own shades in, because I'm pretty picky after using makeup for so many years and just really coming to know the shades and the textures that I will actually use. I just am a little bit more discerning. So I do buy palettes, but I really don't use them as much, and I'm not a huge palette fan. And this one, like I said, there's no transition shade in here. There's really not even a good crease shade in here. So to me, that's not super impressive because, like I said, it would be awesome if I could just throw this in my bag, use it on a vacation, but there's not even everything I need in here. To me, that's almost worse than having a palette that's like bigger and there's everything you need and then a lot of extra things that maybe you don't need. That's almost better because you still have one thing that you can just toss in your bag and take with you. But this, I'm gonna have to end up taking other shadows with me, and I can't be bothered. So overall, of course I'll let you guys make your own decision. It's not that I would necessarily say like don't ever buy it, but I'm not going to be buying any other ones, and I probably won't use this one a whole lot just because it's kind of a bummer of a product. I really hate being negative, you guys, but I do want you to know how I feel about things, so there's that. One other thing that I kind of have to compare in my mind to decide, you know, do I really like this? Am I just kind of feeling romanced by the packaging and how beautiful they look before I swatch them? Is to compare them to other brands that maybe are in a similar price range or a similar kind of level, if that makes sense. There are some high-end brands at Sephora particularly that I really think their shadows are kind of awful, and they're very expensive. So again, I hate to be negative, but Dior, I really do not like their eyeshadows one bit. I like their lip balm obviously, and like their complexion products like foundations and concealers, but their powder products, especially their eyeshadows, I just find are pretty awful. YSL, I'm not a huge fan of their eyeshadow formula either, so I kind of, you know, compared in my mind, how do I like these compared to the formulas of those two brands, and do I think it's worth the money? And I just said no, I don't think so. They're pretty much on par with those other two brands. So if that's helpful at all, that's my thought process. I think about it way too much, but maybe it's helpful for you guys. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you found it helpful, and let me know if there are any other newish products that are coming out or have come out that you guys want to see a review on, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!